I'm here in Chicago with P. Ray. She's a chairman here inside the Chicago, and she knows everything about the Chicago migrant crisis and what is going on here. And overall, what are you guys seeing here in Chicago with the migrant crisis?
We want them to go home. We want ICE to come here and use their $25 billion budget to take care of this problem and get these people back to where they came from. The citizens of Chicago cannot afford to continue to subsidize this human trafficking operation.
How much money is a person like you, or the average Chicago person, having to pay in taxes?
I'll give you one example. The opioid crisis has decimated Chicago, and that's because Chicago is the epicenter of the Mexican cartel. They chose the west side of Chicago specifically for their headquarters for 3 reasons. One, all roads in America lead to the west side of Chicago. That's why we have the Loop, which is on the west side. We also have a high black male unemployment rate in the fact that we're a sanctuary city. So because we are selling over $1 billion of heroin a year from our neighborhood, that creates a narco kind of culture. So we got a settlement from the opioid companies, and they were supposed to build rehabs and rebuild communities that were decimated by the opioid crisis. Well, our mayor took that $51 million and he gave it to the illegals. So now citizens who are still suffering with addiction didn't get the services that they were promised.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you think with the narcos and with the cartel being here in Chicago, do you think a lot of these people that are coming over are being told to go to Chicago so they can work with the cartel?
Absolutely. They're importing their own workforce. Because what happened is the reason that El Chapo is in prison right now at this very moment is because there was a black guy on the west side of Chicago who was caught with drugs. The Chicago Police Department said, "Where did you get these drugs from?" He said, "I bought them from these twins over in Little Village." So the Chicago Police Department goes over, they start to investigate the twins in Little Village, where these were actually El Chapo's number 1 and number 2 guys in the United States. So this goes from a simple drug possession case to an international drug trafficking case. And now El Chapo is in Supermax. And so they want to import a workforce that will not be compelled to tell what happened, because those people are not trying to go home. When you're employing Americans, of course they're going to say whatever they have to say to go back to their families. These people have no ties here. So I believe that this is just a new imported workforce to work in the street culture.
Yeah, because a lot of these migrants, when they come over, they commit a crime, they're released, and then they're ghost criminals and they can change their name.
Voila. And go to another space and do it over and over again.
And are a lot of the migrants here making up Social Security card numbers
Yes.
to work? And are they receiving Social Security cards?
No, well, they've caught them with fake Social Security cards. There was this one guy they caught. They said that they found his card, and then the back it had like the stick. They had the watermark where he had like literally printed it offline.
Really?
So they're doing everything. They've already found illegal ID mills over in different neighborhoods. So this is an ongoing thing. We've been a sanctuary city for a long time. So we, in a way, have perfected falsifying documents, getting people who are here illegally ways to work. And so people know, because we already have that infrastructure to serve them, this is the best place for them to come.
And with the Chicago being a sanctuary city, the 3 years before this, before Joe Biden became president, would you guys see migrants outside panhandling?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is brand new for us. I think that Jim Crow Joe has not only decimated the country, but especially Chicago, because we are being flooded with these people. And our mayor said yesterday that we could take up to 400,000 of them.
And can you guys take up for them?
Absolutely not. We don't have space for them. We have people here in Chicago who have been waiting on the Chicago Housing Authority on their waiting list for over 20 years. The Chicago Housing Authority is hoarding over $1 billion of federal housing funds, while our people are parked in Iowa and Wisconsin and all these other spaces. So until we can figure out how to get our people back in the housing that they were promised, we have no space, no vacancy for anybody else in Chicago. Our people need to be housed.
Yeah, I've heard that obviously there's spent over $300 million on the migrants.
Yes, illegal immigrants. These are not migrants.
Illegal immigrants. And I was talking to some other people, and they said that Southside Chicago, a lot of other places were also always asking for money.
Yes.
And they could never get it, but then there was $300 million brought up out of thin air, right?
Yes. We've been hearing my entire life that the city doesn't have money, that the resources are not there, that they have to figure out ways to pay for things, and they pull money out of the thin air for people who are not supposed to be here. It's not fair. And I think that is really what's going to turn Chicago politically, because they can see how these liberal policies are affecting us in ways that are deeply disrespectful.
Yeah, with what you said right there, do you think more people are going to be switching from blue to red this year more than ever?
Absolutely. We have old people, young people, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, and other. All of these people have decided that what has happened in Chicago is way too disrespectful. I think that Mayor Brandon Johnson is the greatest recruiter for the Republican Party in the country right now.
And do people like the mayor?
No, not at all. His his approval rating is 23%, and I want people to know that Black Chicago did not put him in office. A lot of times people say, well, Chicago voted via race, and you get what you vote for. Brandon Johnson won 0 Black wards during the primary. So this is not our fault. This is the North Side and the progressives and that, that white liberal scene that put him into play. And no, we've never been disrespected like this in our lives.
Do you think people like the Mayor Johnson, do you think they're making money from potentially cartel members? Or
this is a town where money talks, and absolutely, and I believe that's why when we asked the city council to give us the sanctuary city ordinance, the aldermen voted no. Now, we didn't ask them to take it away. We asked them for the choice to vote on it, and they wouldn't even give us the choice, and I believe that's because they've been compromised.
They've been compromised from inside. And
Yes.
how can you drain the swamp, to say?
We are going red. You understand? We're done. We said that the blues gave Chicago the blues.